Oh, run, run, run from the big fat midget chasing us. Uh-oh, boost juke time. Flip and sweep. Peace out, bro. Hey, I'm not done yet. The hunter has become the hunted. You are not prepared. GG, baited and outsmarted. Whoa, what up, dudes? Are you prepared? It's time for Illidan. Now, Illidan is not my favorite assassin, but he is a very interesting assassin. Well, our AC broke, completely froze over, so it is freaking ridiculous. I'm sweaty as hell, but I'm gonna bring you guys some awesome gameplay of Heroes of the Storm, so let's do it. Woo! Alright, let's get going, guys. Gonna be running up into the tribute map here. This one can be pretty snowbally since everyone decides to do 5-man team fights at those tributes, and that can really put you behind if you actually lose a lot of your teammates during those. I have a few different options in order to spec out Illidan. He's got quite a lot of options throughout the game, whereas some characters don't really have that big of a choice on what they choose. I can either go for more of a life leech type of setup or something around just doing a lot of bursty damage, which is pretty much what I'm going to do. Now, all of my abilities do not use mana. In fact, they're all cooldown based, and they're on pretty damn low cooldowns at that. So, just so you know, I'm not so good at Illidan, mostly because I just haven't played him that much yet. And so, I play him as if he was kind of a tanky character. And because I feel like, honestly, oh, well, that was a terrible idea. I forget. Okay, so again, I'm a little bit new on the character. Don't beat me up on this one, but I forget that his abilities will actually flip you around the other side of the enemy. So when I did the little dash, it flipped me to the other side of the tank and pretty much just killed me there. I'll learn my lesson from that one there. In any case, all of my abilities are cooldown based, as you can see. So I can just keep spamming them out as fast as possible. Also, my auto attacks will reduce the cooldown of all of my abilities. And he has pretty decent auto attack speed. So I was going to go around the backside of the tank there. That did not work out. As you can see, we did kill the tank, so at least it was 1 for 1. But the barbarian was waiting for me in the bush. And then before I could get my flip off, the tank pushed me into the turret. Whatever. We'll work on this one just a little bit. We're not exactly behind. We're still even. We're doing all right. And I can do lots of dashing. This is pretty much what Illidan's all about. He's extremely freaking squishy. Like, he dies so fast. And his damage is okay. It's not really as bursty as somebody like Zeratul. So for an assassin, it really makes it kind of difficult to play him because, on a lot of these melee assassins, you need to be able to get in there and quickly kill people. Whereas Illidan, he can do a decent amount of damage, but he relies on staying alive via lifesteal and just sticking to his targets because since his abilities are such low cooldowns and most of them are dashes, he's got, his Q ability dashes and flips to the other side of your enemy, and then your W will it's literally just a dash that's targeted, or I guess a skill shot I should say. So, you definitely have those options to kind of dash in and out of battles, but as far as staying alive, as long as you aren't really taking damage consistently, you should be okay. But if they focus you, as you saw there, then you're gonna get wrecked pretty hard. Now, for me, I just need to learn which battles to go into and how to properly engage. If I were to equate it to playing characters that I'm used to, I would probably just wait a little bit longer before going into battle rather than trying to engage right away, as I'm used to doing on most tanky characters. That's more of my playstyle, jumping in right away and causing enemies to focus me down. Illidan, you cannot really play him that way. Like I said, he's squishy, so you've got to choose the targets that are trying to either escape and take those guys out, or you can go ahead and engage on the characters that are focusing down your back line, and you can use that to your advantage. In this particular case, you'll see I do really well whenever I am using that strategy. So let's talk about what exactly his abilities are. Now you'll notice the little targeted dash where I flip onto the other side of the enemies. That's my Q ability. It's about a 6-second cooldown without auto attacking. And then I've got a W, that is my dash. That's that little wide bar, which kind of just does a bit of a dash, of course. And that one right there, if I land it onto an enemy character, I have a talent that I took at level 1, which increases the damage of my auto attacks by 40% for the next 4 attacks. I think normally it's like 25%. So in any case, if you land your abilities, you're going to grant yourself quite a large amount of damage for the next couple of attacks. So as I start leveling up, I'll get even more beast mode abilities like that allow me to just sit there and chunk people's health with my auto attacks. And that's really where his damage comes from, is his auto attacks. So I just took my ultimate, and for this particular map, since it is so large and I want to be able to get to those tributes quickly, I have an almost global. Look at this. Warrior! You are not prepared. Pretty much it's like a dash that goes to anyone very quickly, and it allows you to reinforce your allies very easily and catch running away targets. It will stun them for just a slight moment, as well as doing a pretty considerable amount of damage. Now, his other ability is quite nice to have if you are going to be focused in various team fights and you don't need to get to various areas very quickly. So that one, it allows you to turn into the demon form of Illidan, which you may be familiar with. It gains, it jumps to the air. It's a very small jump range, but it does jump to the area. It does a big amount of damage in the area. Grants yourself, I think, more life and more damage, something like that. And you can later on, you can turn it on permanently until you die, which is pretty insane. As far as the little leap, I like it a lot. And later on, I will be able to modify it to give it global range and make it shoot out faster. So that's pretty cool. All right, so right now, I have the option of increasing the range of my dash. I have 5 different options. It's pretty crazy. I can make it, okay, so he has all these like mobility options you can take. You can make it so that I can actually make my W go over walls. It ignores collision, in other words. So I can use it to juke over walls. If I need that kind of mobility, I can do that. So there's all of these different little options of building Illidan, whether you want him just straight up damage, if you need to give him a little bit more utility, you have those options. And in that sense, I really like it. It's really cool that they made it possible to build this character in so many ways. And that's what they're pretty much trying to do on all of the characters, is give them a very distinct feel based on the choices that you make on your talents. And man, this tank really hurts. I'm going to try my best to take him out. It looks like we did. I am staying alive, as you can see. I am very low health, but I'm going to go ahead and do my ultimate. That's going to stun Meridian just long enough, and he gets pulled by Stitches. Taken down. Yes, sir, you are done. Finally, the last ability I have not talked about yet is my E, you'll notice there, and it's called Evasion. Basically what it does is it gives you, I think on the next 2 seconds, or maybe just the next 2 auto attacks, you will dodge them, and you can take a talent, which I did not take, which also gives you a small shield whenever you use those. And I had to get out of there. I was trying to finish him off, and no, Kerrigan goes down. Yep, that extra range on the siege tank is really hard to deal with, so she died. I just barely got out of there myself. And so for here, I'm going to go ahead and take this one. Now, this is really cool. I took a talent that gives me 2 charges of Sweeping Strike. That's my dash that I was talking about, the W. So now I can use it twice in a row. And remember, I gain 40% extra damage for the next 4 attacks when I use Sweeping Strike. So pretty much 100% of the time, I'm going to have that extra 40% damage bonus, unless I just miss my Sweeping Strike, or if I use it to like juke away. That's when I would not have it, of course. Anyhow, since I have a lot of life leech that's built into my passive. Oh, look at that juke right there going into the barbarian, but it did put me in a bad position. I'm going to be stuck into these 2 turrets here, and I just might get away. Looks like, yes, I do. The enemy Illidan tries to jump to me, and I let him go and jump onto me, and we take him out. I had just enough life. As I said, Illidan doesn't have really bursty attacks. So even though the enemy Illidan jumped to me and I was really low life, it didn't really do any damage. It does a little bit, but not much. And his real damage, again, comes from just sitting there auto-attacking. And that's why he flips to the other side of the enemies, because when someone's trying to run away from you, you flip to them and you get like 3 or 4 auto-attacks in while they're running. Whereas, you know, you take a character such as Zeratul, which I did in the past, and his damage comes from throwing out that bomb, and then boom, big burst, and then using his little, you know, his little swirly slash, which is boom, big damage. And Illidan, his abilities, they are very low cooldown, moderate damage. So he's based around sticking to somebody for a decent amount of time, you know, whereas maybe some other assassins, they cannot stick to their targets. They can get off quick amount of damage, but if someone's running away, they can't hold their own. Now, I have to get the heck out of here. I'm taking a lot of burst damage, but the cool thing is I've got those 2 different bursts, and you can see me juking in here, going into the bush, and I'm going to flip to him to the other side, juke back the other way. My team has arrived. Now that my ultimate is up, I can actually come back in here and finish off the kill. He is going to be jumping over the wall, I'm pretty sure, and as I predicted, he goes down. So Muradin, dead. I get the escape, and we have the kill. Now, the cool thing is, since I can auto attack and reduce the cooldown of my abilities. I don't know if you saw, but earlier I took a passive which I can turn it on. It's that D right there, so I can turn it on and it'll double the effect of my auto attack cooldown reduction. So in other words, instead of reducing the cooldown of my abilities by 1 second, I can activate it and it'll reduce them by 2 seconds. So now my ultimate's already back up. This makes him a really good jungler because of his life leech. He can sit there and do these jungle camps, and if there's a battle that breaks out, you have your ultimate ready to go. You can pop that and jump right into battle and not be out of those team fights for too long. So I'm gonna see if I can get in here, get into range, and jump into the fight. I might actually be in a bad spot. Yeah, I kind of jumped really far in the back. It was a little bit too late. So that was too unfortunate. I didn't do a lot of damage. In fact, I just kind of took a lot of damage myself. And now the tank is on me. I did not pop my evasion in time. That is unfortunate. Oh well. Now that if I think about it, there's actually 2 times you can modify your evasion. You can get one that gives you a small shield when you turn it on, and then there's another one that you can reduce the ability damage that you take by 50% while it is active. So if I wanted to be a lot tankier, which he's really not, then I could use those 2 talents to help me out. I don't think I've actually taken either of them, if I remember correctly. I may have taken the one with the 50% reduction, but I can't remember at this point. Oh well. Now, overall, we are doing all right, but that last part right there, we just got crushed. We lost, if you notice the little timer at the top, we all died, like exactly at the same time, which is kind of funny, because we went into an engagement that just did not make sense. Overall, though, we are taking most of these mercenary camps, and we are doing a good job of controlling the map. We are 1 level ahead, which is not huge, but, you know, in a situation where everybody's grouped up, you can add that up and say we have a 5-level advantage at that point. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and focus down Muradin. I know that it would be very difficult to kill him 1v1, but since I have my teammate jumping in there, that's going to make it very possible to go on him. Now, I could ultimate and jump to him, but he's really hard to kill. He's tanky, so I'm just going to stay in the back. I'm going to try and play it safe, as I haven't done in the past. Oh, no. Well, still didn't work out. I was trying to stay in the back and just kind of focus down people that were farthest away from the rest of their team. Either way, I kind of got pooped on there just a bit. So finally, we're level 20 now, so I have nowhere is safe. That basically gives me the global range on my ultimate. We'll be able to use that one in order to jump into this next fight. I've got the 30-second cooldown, so it doesn't look like there actually is going to be a team fight anytime soon. If you notice, we are all split up at the moment. We got our Sergeant Hammer up top, and we have Tychus down on the bottom. I'm actually looking forward to playing Tychus, by the way. Offhand conversation there. He is not free to play at any point that I've seen just yet, and I don't have enough coins to buy him, but he is very powerful. Okay, back to Illidan. So I'm ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to this mercenary camp. I would like to pick up these ogres and have them running into the enemy lane. In the meantime, we have the big golem. You'll notice they just took that. So once I grab these ogres, that should allow me to have enough time to use my ultimate to jump into the fight if they do decide to engage before I am ready to walk over to them on my mount. And just as I said, they have already engaged. So I'm going to go ahead and jump onto the person in the back. Now, unfortunately for me, the freaking siege tank ran away, so my ultimate just kind of screwed me over a little bit in terms of, well, now I'm back to half health.
And it would have been better if I had jumped to one of the other guys. But you can't always predict what the enemies are going to do. You can only assume. And I was assuming that the siege tank would be in the back pelting my allies. But as you can see, we actually won the game because we had some minions attacking the turret or attacking the base. But that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure that you comment below your thoughts on Illidan and subscribe if you haven't already. Peace out, bros.